Hey, what's up, Diego? This is a quick demo video for you for your Saberbay Intromnia or Jimmy's Saber Junk chassis. This is a 2-button setup, so you've got your 2 switches right here. One is going to light up green, as we talked about, and the other one will be red. So your front switch, which is your power, that will be green, and your auxiliary button back here will be red. I'll show you that animation obviously here in a second. This is your blade retention knob right here. All right, so pay attention to that. And then how to get to your chassis is you just want to unscrew the pommel. Try not to unscrew this guy right here. So just the pommel. All right. We're going to unscrew that real quick. I'm going to show you what I did. I put a little mark on this guy because when you're screwing it back into the hilt, if you crank on it, you can keep turning it. So when it gets tight, you kind of want to stop. There's no way to tell when the switches are lined up with the plungers though. So if you look over here on this little greebly here, this little round greebly on the pommel, I did mark it with a silver Sharpie. And you can see the rest of the round greeblies are not marked. That is to just show you where your switch is, right? So if you looked at that and you drew a straight line over here, it's in line with your switches, and that helps you line up with your plungers right here. All right, so no big deal there. If you don't like that, or if you want to come up with a different solution, you can take a little bit of isopropyl alcohol and you can wipe that right off, so it's not permanent. All right, this is your chassis. It does stay inside of the pommel. But as requested, I don't know, it's a little hard to see through the perforations, but I did swap out the chassis 3D printed crystal for a real quartz crystal. So I'll light that up here for you in a second. It's a removable battery setup. All right, so you can pop out the battery. You will see a little bit of wires there, something that couldn't be helped, you know, but they are twisted up and they're not an eyesore if I can focus in on that. All right, so you got your OLED screen right there. And that, of course, is visible from right here. You've got a kill switch. These are 2 pixel switches from stock. This is a V4, I believe, NPXL. So you got that in there for your blade connector. And then you've got a Proffie V3 right here. This is running my own sound font for now. There is a copy on the config file. And I broke down all of the blade styles. So you'll see where it says it'll be labeled main blade. And then there's your code. The second blade style is your crystal, so it'll say crystal, then it will say power button, that is the front switch, and then auxiliary button for the last, and that's the auxiliary switch. All right, so spring side over here for your negative, so we'll just throw the battery in, come over here and flip the kill switch. You've got my boot up on the OLED screen here for now. You're welcome to change that if you like, but this is something I put on all my builds when I do an OLED screen. All right, you can see your real quartz crystal in there pulsing, and then you've basically got the cave scene right here for your switches. But when you've got the Saber on, or you flipped it on rather, just come over here and screw it in. You can use that little mark that I gave you. Make sure it's lined up with your switches, just like that. And when it's lined up, you'll also see your switches light up as well. All right, and then we'll come over here and hit power. Now when the Saber's on, I made the green switch stay lit, but this one will pulse. All right, you got your stock V3 firing up there. And then your crystal goes solid when the Saber's on. All right, but it does react to the auxiliary button being pressed. And you've got twist off. So let's throw a blade in here. This guy takes a 1-inch diameter blade. So we'll throw a blade in here, lock it down with your brass thumb screw, and then come over here and hit power. And I just wanted to do a little bit something different than red because I do red a lot. So this has a red unstable blade. Oh, I'm sorry, a green unstable blade and a green crystal. Very loud when everything's all put together. So you should enjoy that sound. Blaster bolt deflex is just tapping auxiliary. Now, if you want blade lockup, you have to hold the auxiliary button down and hit the Saber. You'll see that on a full-length blade. When you're like this, it'll be in the middle of the blade, and then as you go like this, it moves closer down. All right, and then to play your soundtrack, do a long press on the power. And then do one more long press to turn it off. Just like that. All right, and then if you had multiple sound fonts on, you would just tap auxiliary to go to the next one. So, all right, when you're done, unscrew this just a little bit. Go ahead and pop your blade out. We'll unscrew it from the pommel. Remember the pommel, not the brass piece. And if we turn this on from here, we can flip our kill switch and it kills power. All right, and then your battery comes out just like this with your finger. But that is basically your Intromnia. Let me know if you have any questions. And it's Monday, so I will get this out in the mail to you first thing tomorrow. Thanks, Diego.